Welcome back to the Town's End, and it's another Factor meal review, keto friendly. This time it's Hungarian beef and peppers with cauliflower rice, which so far they've done a good job of imitating, and paprika buttered zucchini. Which honestly, I haven't had zucchini that they've made that I disliked yet. Let me show you what it looks like. See? And honestly, it doesn't do it justice because these look like any other weird TV dinner, but taste way better than most. I've never had a hungry man that actually tasted this good. Or oddly, that was this filling. Because some of those when I was younger and I was lazy and bought those, I really had to have two to feel okay. These don't look that big, but they're high in protein and have enough fat that if I take my time eating them like you should if you want to be healthy, you'll feel full when you're done. The zucchini is actually, this is different than the last couple meals, but it's good. And like most of the other times when they have zucchini cubed up like this on the side, it's al dente. So it's cooked perfectly. It's not smushy and squishy. There's just a little bit of crunch to it, but it's not hard to chew either. You could definitely still eat this if you didn't have all your teeth like I do. Honestly, the entree as well. Since it's Hungarian beef, it's not, it's like Hamburg, but seasoned the way they season it. So it's not like a hunk of steak or something that you have to bite. It's good, but I'm struggling with how to accurately describe it. I mean, I know it sounds verbatim, but it is very savory. Let me see what the back says for what's in it for this vegetable part. There's definitely some kind of delicious oils that they're using when they make the vegetable part, the zucchini. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's what I thought, because I use it a lot when I make baked chicken and other things to keep it moist and tender. They're using good olive oil and citric acid. So yeah, I mean, in the right amounts, those are frickin' delicious, and they keep everything nice and juicy. Citric acid keeps things tender without making them mush, and they're natural preservative. For the first time in doing this, I've actually eaten all the vegetables before I ate the meat. Okay, so in with the meat section, or the entree section, is the imitation rice made out of finely diced up cauliflower. I mean, it's not like I can tell myself by taste that it's Hungarian, but I can definitely tell it's beef, and it's delicious. It's just, I don't know, a little more flavor and a little bit of spice. Not actually spicy or hot, but it's definitely like more than I would grow up eating. When I grew up eating a meal with loose Hamburg cooked, it definitely didn't have this level of paprika and other spices in it. So it doesn't burn, but it adds a little flavor. Here's what it looks like up close. See? There's a little piece of the not hot, but peppers that are diced up and mixed in too. It's very good. So this is another recipe for the win in the Factor meal review. So I know I wasn't consistent in my grading when I gave a number, but I kind of have to this time because this is another one that's a solid 9. There were a few in the beginning that were kind of None of them were bad. Like I said, none of them are at 5 or below, but I can't help but mention the ones that are significantly close to 10. And this is one of those. That's very delicious. Savory with a little bit of spice. This definitely makes dieting a lot easier. So try to remember also, the other points I make is lately with the economy and gas prices and grocery prices going up, the argument that most people usually make that factor meals are unaffordable, pre-made meals being in general unaffordable, I would agree with some companies, but this one, the meal plan that I picked, that's 6 meals per box, is actually less expensive than when I bought all of my groceries and made my keto meals myself from a grocery store. I definitely spent like well over $80 to $100 every other week at least on groceries, and this is less than that per box for 6 full complete meals for dinner. So, and I buy that much less groceries. The only groceries I really buy are a few breakfast things and stuff to keep around in case I'm home for lunch and I want to make my own wrap or sandwich that is low carb. But that's a lot less than before, where I used to buy a lot of stuff just for making dinner meals, and trying to stay on diet while doing that. I still do my unique baked chicken and pork chops or other meals, but I don't do them as often because I don't need to. And since I switched shifts today, I'm actually grateful for this change because now there's a lot of days I don't really feel like standing in the kitchen and prepping an entire meal from scratch. And it's nice to have something I don't need to, and I can still stay on diet. That was delicious. And look at that. One of those times where you can be part of the Clean Plate Club without feeling guilty, because you cleaned your plate of all of the healthy food you just ate. All right. Now, before I go, I wanted to talk about one other subject. I haven't said this on the channel at all, really, since seriously trying to build the channel. But probably about 20 years and 6 months ago, maybe almost 21 years ago, I copywrote and self-published an anthology of poetry that I'm kind of proud of it, because when I first tried to publish a book on my own and found that I couldn't do so without having a certain minimum a number of pages, I was a little disappointed. But then it forced me to do something that was actually really enlightening and really helped me a lot. I had to go to people I knew and trusted at the job I had, and a few family members who I trusted and knew also were authors of their own right and poets, and asked them to contribute. So I turned what would have been just a small book of my own into an anthology of poetry that has quite a variety of style and types of poetry in it. And it's no longer in print, but I still found when I had to move last August that I had a number of, in a box that I had forgotten about. I had a number of copies still left that I had planned on, using up or getting rid of in the process of doing a book signing back when I first got it published. And a few years later, when I tried to stimulate sales for the book. But now I just have what's left, and honestly, I'd rather sell them, and they're out of print. But there's at least 2 and possibly more authors that I could get to sign these. I can show you.
What's up, guys?
And this is one of the authors.
Hi.
My nephew Ryan, and he's another one that contributed a bunch of poems that are in the book as well. See?
Check it out if you got the time.
I'm going to take a bunch of still photos of the book too that are going to be closer up, so you'll be able to see better. But, you know, it's a good collection of poems. The job I had previously, I had a bunch of coworkers that also contributed a few poems each. So we filled the pages enough. So I met and went past a little bit the minimum needed to publish. So Ryan and I and a couple other siblings contributed poetry, and then a few coworkers from the Beach Hill Hospital, the first place I worked as a counselor. They contributed poetry to it as well when I was trying to get it big enough to publish. Anyways, yeah, and Ryan and I, at least two of the authors of the book, are willing to sign the copies that are remaining, and we'll sell them. I'll talk later in a different video about pricing, because we have to figure that out and just make it fair and all that. There's a couple paperback copies and a good amount in the box of like maybe 10 or 15 hardback. So, and maybe in the meantime, I'm hoping some people I've lost touch with that are also in the book, other authors of poetry in the book, might reach out and contact me, and then I'll be able to add other signatures to it if they're not too far away. Either way, I will put a link in the description for you to be able to reach out and contact me. Also, if for some reason this video reaches other authors from this book originally, same thing. Use the email that I put in the description to reach out to me and let me know, and that you've seen this, and that you remember, you know, like 20 and a half years ago when we put this thing together. All right. Thank you for coming down. Please like, comment, and subscribe, you know, for the factor meal stuff and the keto friendly factor meals. But also, you know, if you love poetry, that too. And I'll see you next time here on the Townsend.